Hello everyone, welcome back to the KMTRADERS channel. So this is the full market analysis, volume 54. We're going to go through all the markets, review what happened last week and give you some insight for what we're expecting for next week. So we're going to be covering Euro USD, NZD USD, AUD USD tomorrow, separate video because we've had some of our levels being invalidated. So yeah, we'll go ahead and check those out tomorrow, and for now we'll start off with gold for this week. So taking a look into this pair, I have a zone leveled out here, as we know, 1680. I'm still expecting price to make some sort of turnaround towards the upside. Again, this is totally valid until we break this low. So I'm still personally bullish on this pair and looking for buying opportunities as long as price stays above this low the market. And you know, if you've been following our gold videos, you should pretty much understand where our long-term vision is. Now, that doesn't mean you should be holding these trades for this amount of time, because obviously anything can happen. Again, it's up to your own risk appetite and your psychology of the market of holding a trade. So again, take your profits when you're happy with them and etc. And obviously go ahead and stick to your own trading plan. But like I was saying, we can see that prices technically stepping up on the smaller time frame. So this is why I'm still convinced that we could have that progression towards the upside nice and slowly. We do have our downtrend here still to aim towards, so we could see some potential rejections off there, but not so much. Not really anticipating that just as yet. I just personally want to see this push towards the upside before we can start to consider some potential retracement levels. Potentially at 1880s where I'm first considering for now, but we'll respond to the situation and look at how price responds to this trend line here. But yeah, that's what I'm looking at for gold still. So nice and slow, as we can see, there wasn't so much happening, a lot of choppy price action behavior. So if you did manage to get any gold positions, that it shouldn't have, but you didn't really miss out on anything too much. So we're going to be covering the next three pairs tomorrow, like I did say. We'll take a look at UJ. So what we were looking out for this pair was this upside move. Now, as we got labeled out here, is this turnaround point. So we are expecting price to make this turnaround soon. If we take a look at the RSI, maybe we can see something. So we can see that we've got a momentum divergence here. So again, there's peaks are higher than price actions. So there's you can see there's an uptrend here, downtrend in price action, but that's just the simplest way to explain that divergence. But again, if you have been on this channel, you understand this process, that we don't actually trade based off the RSI. It's based on multiple confluences and other factors involved. So all we're going to be doing, like I said, is waiting for this pretty much this play to run out its course. I'm actually going to get rid of this because it's actually quite confusing. I'm going to just focus on the first move to the downside. So as we can see, price is stepping up. We could expect one push higher before we can get that push to the downside. Now I will be looking just to take out this prior low. We could get a retracement and then head even lower to this downtrend here. I'm not saying that this leg here can definitely happen. My first point of target would be this level here, would be this low, and then roughly this low here. So that's why I'm looking at that level. But yeah, we can use that as a nice level to take our profits at, so 150 pips. And then if it does have that retracement, which I do expect, we can look at either holding a position or looking for a re-entry on a retest. And we can hold it even lower to this downtrend here. But again, what will most likely happen is when this move happens to the downside, it won't happen all in a week. Like this whole move to the downside won't happen in a week. Again, it really depends upon market sentiment, fundamentals, etc. But we do actually have the NFP, I believe, next week, or then in the next 2 weeks. So this could be a driving factor to push price lower. So that's something just to keep an eye out for. But yeah, we could just watch this step down towards the downside and keep an eye on that on the as weeks come. We'll take a look at Cad Jpy. So as we can see, prices stepping up we are still waiting for that turnover in the market. We got a significant point in the market where we have this high being tested. So as long as price doesn't go above this level at 88.0, we shouldn't see price push higher. So I'm still confident that price could lead to a bearish sentiment. So if we're able to see some divergence, which I don't think we do see some here, we can see some potential sell-off opportunities. That's why I'm convinced that we can push lower. So as we can see, that there is that divergence there and there. I'm convinced that we are still capable of pushing lower. So whether the price pushes just a little bit higher before we have that push lower, that's something that we can all obviously just pay attention towards and keep an eye out for. It doesn't matter if price goes all the way up here and then turns over, because obviously the more price pushes higher, the more reward there is potentially to to secure. And our target, or our first level of target to take, would be this level here or this low. And if we were to take the high to the low, or the current high, or intermediate high, it's 130 odd pips. So again, pretty good risk to reward for my liking. Again, so something that I'm paying attention towards. And very interested in. So we'll take a look at EJ. EJ, I think we're having a similar situation. Yeah, so I was expecting price to make some sort of retracement to the upside, as we didn't really exactly get that, but we had much more of a push down to the downside this week. So I'm still watching for the turnaround in the market. If we were to take a look at why I'm looking at this still, so we can just draw something like this. We have that divergence again, very strong here. So there's like the added confluence here that I'm watching out for. We do have some. We don't actually have any confluence to the downside for a divergence at the downside, but this could signify a nice retracement at some point. So what we could be looking out for is a nice retracement within this range, so potentially at the 618 fib, something just to keep an eye out for. So in between 130 to 129.5, somewhere that you can look out for. But yeah, we could be looking out for just a bit more push towards the upside before we have that downwards move. And again, you could safely secure your profits at this low of the market here, like so. That would be your first ideal level, 150 odd pips, so that's a nice point to take out. But this, I will be anticipating target to come to this level here, so we'll see exactly how price turns out and plays. But yeah, we still have a lot of room for the downside, so I'm still keeping an eye for that. And of course, this level in the market is still valid. So as long as price stays below this level, so 130.5, we should be able to still stay bearish in the market. So that's pretty much that pair. Take a look at NZD, JPY. So this one actually melted. I was actually considering to do an update video for this pair, but what my thoughts are for this is to have a bit more of a like I said, I was looking for the break-in point where price would ultimately drop to the downside. Again, I didn't expect price to turn around so quickly. I was expecting much more of a retracement higher. So I'm not going to make an update video on this exactly, because I think the next move is of importance. But what I am looking out for is, following on with the other pairs, is for price to make a bit more of a push to the upside before we have that turnaround. And I'm looking to target this zone of the market. Now, obviously, if price does come to this level, then it does. But if it goes past it, then so be it. But again, that's just a target area that I'm looking out for price to either one, to continuate push lower, or to find some sort of level of rejection. But yeah, ideally what I'm looking out for here in this week for this pair is just to pretty much see this continuation more towards the downside, because this huge drop in the market. and you know, this could be a much more continuation play, which is what I'm looking out for this pair. So this is a nice drop in the market, so we'll see how it all plays out over the next few days or so. We'll take a look at AJ, so the last three pairs for this week. So again, what I was looking out for is price to take take a bullish sentiment towards the upside. I'm actually quite in two minds with this. So after looking at how price responded to this week, I'm not so convinced that price could make a push towards the upside. Now, I was adding up all the little factors in between. One of the main factors was the divergence that we can see here. So again, you can see this downplay here and here. So, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4. So obviously you can see that. So there is a clear divergence for me. So there is a potential momentum switch. This is my significant low. So my structure low. So as long as, you know, technically, if we do get a break at this low, I could be convinced to have much more downside opportunity. So that's why I am looking out for potential moves to the downside. And not only that, there is also the confluences with the other JPY pairs, as they do look bearish right now. So the Japanese yen does look quite strong in relation to the other pairs. So that's something that I'm adding up together with the other JPY pairs, if that makes sense. So what I'm ideally looking out for is a potential push to the upside just a little bit more, and then we could be potentially aiming for this low of the market here. And again, this is a good enough reward to even consider trading. So I'm going to obviously take this idea. But again, these are all just ideas that you can play around with yourself and take into your own trading plan and your own trades. But yeah, this is just something that we could be looking out for. And from this low to this, that high to this low is 160, and then to the bottom low, just under 200 pips. So again, a lot of pips up for grabs. So again, I do hope you see the value from the full market analysis, that there is multiple opportunities and ideas that happen every week. And the purpose obviously for this is obviously to give you a bit of an insight, but not only that, is to give you the optimism for the market. It's not just to have the oh, I missed the trade this week, and you shouldn't feel any type of way where you feel like you missed out, because like I said, if you watch majority of our full market analysis videos, you'll notice that for every single pair that we cover, we give you an idea of where price could head. Now, that doesn't mean it always comes to fruition. It means that more or less you have a tradable idea. So, again, it all boils down to your own trade plan and your personality of trading, of course. As myself, I'm personally a swing trader, so I don't partake in the market frequently. I only like to take swings where I see best with a good opportunity. So yeah, I hope that kind of makes sense. And yeah, so moving forward with the USD Chef. So I was in two minds with this pair also. What we spoke about last week is that if price was able to make a turnaround, we could be looking out for pushes lower. But obviously, because price has made that step up, so we can be looking out for some more continuation plays into the market. So our new significant, our new significant low is this one here. Roughly at 0.92, so we can expect price to make a bit more of a continuation up higher. I won't be looking for this move personally. Again, it just depends if we can see a good enough amount of pips involved. But what I'm looking out for this pair now is a potential move to break the high of this current high here, and then I'll be looking for a turnover in price to potentially take out that low in the market, because I am looking out for for price to come lower. So as I was looking out for before, like the previous 2 weeks ago or a week ago, I was looking out for price to take a low, and if we didn't get that low then we would expect the break higher and then that low. So that was my my key idea for this pair moving forward. So yeah, as you can see, price broke towards the upside. We can still potentially look for a move to the upside. There is some good pips here. Again, it just really depends upon the risk appetite. So there is a potential counter trend move towards the upside, but the longer move is potentially towards the downside. So that's what I will be considering most likely. We can have a look at that going forward. So we can already see that as price is already stepping up, there is a divergence forming here. So what we could expect is, if price is going to make one more push to the upside, it would add up to potentially drop even further because of the longer the divergence, the much more strength it has to potentially turn around. So again, it's all about building the cause and building the ideas together to build up a trade idea. But yeah, we'll come forward to that, and hopefully we can see something with that pair in the next few days or so. So yeah, let's take a look at the final pair for this week, and that is USD Cad. So for this one, I'm looking out for this turnaround in the market. So I was personally expecting a bit more of a drop to the downside before potentially riding this higher. We didn't get that much of a decline, so again, I didn't really look for an entry to the upside because I'm more bearish with this pair. So we can get rid of this point of the market. So what I'm ideally looking out for is, potential turnaround at some point. Now, whether price makes a turnaround right now, or if price does something like this, so I'll just make a point. If price starts to break down now, it'll obviously continue to break this structure. Then we can look at a retest. But if price is able to push higher, then push lower, then that's something that we can obviously anticipate. So it'll do one of those two things. And of course, like with all of our trades, with the invalidation level, as long as price stays below this zone, so 1.275, I'll be still looking for turnover, for price to fall to the downside and take out these lows here and potentially target this low at 1.235. So from this high to this low is about 250 pips. So there's a lot of reward here, and there's a lot of potential up for grabs. So again, this is all what we can expect for this week. Now, that doesn't mean that this is definitely going to happen. These are just some ideas that we put forward to yourselves. And if we do take any of these trades, it's part of the membership and all of the trades that we take in the membership group. So if you are new to this channel, I do appreciate your time for watching. We do have a trading group that you can join. That link is in the description, and of course I do appreciate your time for watching. So if you haven't done so already, make sure you leave a video a like and a subscribe if you haven't done so already. And tomorrow we'll take a look at Euro USD, AUD USD, and NZD. So thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you all in our next video.